What is up, everyone? I am Stopher Cavins, and this is the Stopher Show. We made it. Sorry, I'm preoccupied. I'm trying to find the ticker. The ticker, is that the one? Some of your questions. Yes. Welcome, everyone. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I was just kind of finishing up the session. I had quite a few questions. Thank you so much for submitting your questions. If I didn't, I know I already said it, but let's say it again. It's the Stopher Show every Monday night, every Monday night, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I meet with you, you meet with me, you submit your questions, and I read them free of charge. No reason to donate, no reason to submit any super stickers or whatever they're calling it these days. But if you do feel the need to do that, do it. We'll just give the money to the Gary Sinise Foundation, and the Gary Sinise Foundation will do wonderful things with it, like helping our veterans, veteran families, all that good jazz. How's everybody doing tonight? Let's check in. Let's check in the comments, see who's here, and shake some hands and say hi to everyone. John Hoffman, thank you for being here. The name looks familiar. Did you schedule something with me? It looks familiar. Bernicia, thank you. Ishika, thank you for being here. Jet, as always, welcome. Ishika asked, can we submit the question now? So you can submit it now if you want. I don't know that I will answer it. It's not because I don't like you or want to answer it. It's just I'm going to give preference. I'm trying to think of the word. Basically, the questions that were submitted throughout the week are going to be answered first. I've already kind of went into session with those. I've got some notes. We'll see what comes up there. And then if I have extra energy, if something calls to me and Spirit says we need to answer this now, I will pull out other questions. I'm not going to be like starring them and going back to them. So I say, go ahead and ask it, and we'll see how it goes. If it doesn't get answered, just follow the instructions there at the bottom of the screen. Submit your question to the Stopher Show at stophercavins.com, and we'll do it next Monday. How's that sound? All right, Marnie, thank you for being here. Yes, Gary Sinise Foundation is. And if you guys don't know about the Gary Sinise Foundation, check it out. You can just search that into the Google and find his website or their website. And for anybody who doesn't know who Gary Sinise is, if you've ever seen the movie Forrest Gump, he is Lieutenant Dan. I'm sure he's done a lot of other things, but that's what he's most well known for. All right, happy December. It is my birth month. I will turn 47 years old on the 19th. I'm excited about that. Go Sagittariuses. And yeah, is everybody ready for Christmas and the holidays? We put our tree up a few weeks ago. No, me and my husband, I'll get to your questions in a moment, but it's my show, so I'm going to yap for a little bit. Anyway, me and my husband every year, we put up a tree, of course, and he's very good at decorating, so I let him do his thing. And we've been in this place for 4 years, and I never had a tree. I never did a tree when I was kind of on my own. I never, wasn't my thing. But we have a tree, and every year we've done like a different theme. And so if you do the different theme on the tree, you have to do a different theme in the rest of your house as well, or at least we do. So every year we've done a different one for 5 years now. Last year I said it's the last time. We'll just start recycling the themes. So we're going to start, with the one that we did in 2019. And well, the Dodgers won, so we had to do a Dodger tree, right? So we've got the Dodger tree. It's beautiful. It's cool. Maybe next week I will have a picture of it for you guys. And yeah, so then we had to get the Dodger wrapping paper. We got to, do all the stuff. Anyway, so Pam, your birthday is coming up on the 23rd. Happy birthday. And yeah, December's big for birthdays around me. So my husband is the 27th. My sister's the 24th. My grandson, his is the 1st of January, but my granddaughter, I believe, I'm going to get in trouble, 11th of December. And then my stepfather on the 26th. Just wild. We got Jesus on the 25th. It's wonderful. All right, 47 looking great. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right. How was my Thanksgiving? So Thanksgiving was good. Thank you for asking. How was everybody else's Thanksgiving? Put in the comments, put it in the chat. We should talk about it. It was good. Went to my husband's family's house. They live a little bit more inland Empire, Hemet, if you know where that's at, here in California, kind of going up towards Palm Springs. It was great. I love going to his parents' house, but we have to take our dog. We've got another dog that lives with them. So it's two English bulldogs, and then they have an outside dog. Um, so it gets a little crazy because these are very territorial dogs. They're great individually. It's just a lot. And then there was an altercation, and then me and my husband were breaking up the dogs, and he got bit by one of the dogs. So it was pretty bad. So that put a bit of a damper on it. He didn't go to the hospital or get stitches. He should have, but they just poured some alcohol on it and wrapped it up and called it a day, I guess. But anyway, other than that, it was good. I made ribs, barbecued some ribs. We do the low and slow for 3.5 hours, at 250 in the oven, and then we throw them on the barbecue for 15, 20 minutes, get them nice and crispy on the outside. It's yum. All right. So do we always end up talking about food? Is that what happens here? All right, let's get into it. So let me pull up my notes. If you haven't hit the like button, go ahead and do that right now. I'll wait. It's real easy. Just like look down and then thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, man, that'd be cool. It'd be cool, so cool if you subscribe. It's harmless. It doesn't hurt. It's free from what I understand. And yeah, it'll be a party. All right, so let's get into it. Let me knock this down. Hide current comment. You know what? I need a producer. I need somebody to produce the show for me and put all this together. Anybody want to volunteer? It doesn't pay anything. All right. There we go. All right. Just real quick, let you know how I read, and got to tell you, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not anything that's licensed in California or any other state. So if, basically what I'm giving you is my opinion of your energy. And so if you need more than just an opinion of your energy from pretty much a stranger, then please consult with the proper authorities, the proper professionals. And when I give you projections and predictions, I want to make it clear that I don't have a superpower where I see the future. I don't believe the future is written. I think we're in the now, and there's no such thing as the future. It's only now. So what happens is what happens now. But what I do is I read energy, and I'm pretty good at it, right? Or at least I think so. And I'm basically just reading energy. When you ask me a question, I'm reading the energy of that question, anything around it, surround it, anything that needs to be known about it. And then I'm just basically telling you where it's pointed, right? Whether it's something that you're aware of or not aware of, the universe is cooking up. And then we just kind of tell you what freeway you're on, where it's pointed, is there a lot of traffic? Is there not a lot of traffic? Are there exits, entrances, so on and so forth? And then you actually decide how those predictions turn out. So if I tell you that an X is coming back in the picture and this and that could happen, you decide if you even pick up that call or answer that text, or what you do with it, right? If we're talking about a job, because I get a lot of questions about, am I getting the job? Am I not getting a job? I could say, hey, right now we're on a 3-month, looks like it's going to be about 3 months or a year, whatever it is. You can change that by just working harder, putting out more resumes, talking to more people, changing your resume. You can change that energy right away. And then the prediction is going to change because you've done different things. I'm just kind of telling you the forecast of what you're doing. All right, should we get into it? These are the questions that I received in the email. Jillian B, she writes in, do you see us moving back home in the future? Does my stepfather sell the house he's in to help us get there? All right, so here's what I get. When I kind of connect you, Jillian B, to back home, we don't need to know where that's at, but it feels kind of like home to me, which I'm from the Midwest, so I feel like it's kind of landlocked. I don't feel like we're going to the coast. But anyway, like I say, that doesn't matter. I do feel like there's a lot, there's people there, right? There's people, there's things, there's familiar things, there's family. Even if it's not specific family, it just feels very familiar. And that is going to eventually pull you back. So the short answer to your question is yes, you will be moving back home in the future. There's a very, very high likelihood. And the reason I'm predicting this is because I feel that pull. It's emotional. I feel like there's some financial things that are, if they're not already pulling you, they will. I've got this now. Once we kind of start flipping the calendar more than twice, and it's like, who knows? But as I put it here now, if I'm just kind of reaching out there into the, the non-existent future to see where it's going, I feel like we're talking 5 years plus as it sits now. Um, so yeah, and once again, it's like a family, familiar kind of energy that pulls, 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 pulls. Your stepfather does play a role in where you live, is what I'm being told. I don't know that what he does with his home that he's in specifically kind of dictates your move back home. I almost feel like I want to say no, just because it's so far out, and I don't know that that has a specific. I do feel for some reason that kind of some of the decisions he makes will kind of, even in the near future, dictate where you live or how you're living or that type of thing. I have to say with him, as I tap in to this like third party, your stepfather's energy, it feels very shifting, and I'm going to explain what I mean by that, because I know a lot of us say it's shifting energy X Y Z. What it tells me is he's got a lot of, when I say shifting energy, it's almost like he's kind of at a point in his life where he's at like a bit of a fork in the road, just with emotional energy, mental energy, what he wants to do. He's got a lot of choices coming up, is what I want to say, even if it's like not stuff that he needs to make a choice on, but it just like, sometimes we tell ourselves things that we don't need to do, but we want to do. So I feel like he's going to be making some major changes this year in how he lives, where he lives. So my prediction here is that by late August, early September, he's probably going to drop a few bombs on you, and I don't want you to be scared. It's just more like, oh, I didn't see that coming. It's not like anything like, oh my God, the sky is falling. It's just a little bit of a switch up. So yes, you'll move back home, and does stepfather help you get there? I think that's a no. All right. Hope that helps. Hope that makes sense. If you're here, put in the comments what you think about that. All right, Cindy L writes into the Stopher Show. My husband passed away. Do you have any info on his passing? Any messages from him? Thank you so much. Yeah, let me. I don't normally do the mediumship like this. I usually like to have the person come on, but I did. I was able to connect to some different things. So Cindy L, this is what I connected when I focused in on this. I have to tell you, you do not have all the information about his passing, because what I'm being shown, or what his energy is telling me, spiritual energies is what we're speaking of here, is that the best way I can put it is what I was being shown, and what I was feeling is the decisions that were made. There were some decisions. I almost feel like I want to talk about either healthcare professionals or people that were taking care of him, or people that kind of like, um, had a hand in what was going on with him. Some decisions were made when he was here that were not helpful. Now, I'm not saying that like anybody did anything, or it's just like we didn't quite have the right information, or there was something that was done, or some decisions that were not helpful. There was a bad, I almost feel like there was like a bad mix going on in his body. So I'm not sure if I guess kind of what I'm understanding with this is there was either some medication or some substances that would have mixed with some of the things going on health wise with him that were also very, very bad. Do you know? And I do feel like what he's showing me is this is unexpected, his departure. And then would you also understand, because I'm being shown like almost like, I don't think he's not showing me that this is what crossed him. But leading up to his passing, I'm being shown some lung or breathing difficulty as well. He tells me you're stuck. He says she is like stuck in this moment. She's stuck. He tells me that mornings are extremely hard for you. Specifically, he's showing me like you in the morning, just kind of in the morning, having a really it's almost like that's the hardest time of your day. It's like getting out of bed or getting started is very hard for you. He's showing me like let me ask you this. Do you have like a sunroom or like a porch? It's almost like this is where you kind of have your toughest moments or where you kind of reflect on things, or there's something I'm connecting to, like what I would call like a sunroom or a porch or an area of your home that is where we're either like partially outside or covered in windows. He wants you to celebrate holidays, or what I would understand is Christmas, with the friends. I would also say neighbors. It's like friends, neighbors. So there's a directive here to make sure you're celebrating. Specifically, I'm not being told family. I'm being told friends and neighbors. And then I have to ask you if you have because when I'm being shown here, what I feel like it's like I'm holding a plush or a cloth, something that's kind of cloth feeling. Would you have something you hold that would either is of him or remind you of him? Because that's what I'm being shown as well, and I'm understanding that he sees this or he knows about this item, and sending his love. Also wants you to know plans can move forward without him, and I also have to acknowledge a brother in spirit. I'm not sure if this is for you or for him, but it's like hi from brother as well that I have to acknowledge. So I hope that helps. My husband's here. Everybody say hi to Christian Delgado. Love what you did. Yes, we will be in Austin in March. That is true. My head is on fire. What's that mean? What's that mean? Dude, your head is on fire. What's going on? Maybe. All right. Moving on to the next. I'm so easily distracted. Cindy, I hope that helps as we connect to your husband there. Suzanne writes in, and Suzanne S. I'm trying to keep some anonymity. Ooh, nailed it. With folks. So if I have your last name, I'll probably just give the initial of the last name. Suzanne S. writes into the Stopher Show and is I'd like to know what you see as health-wise and work-wise for my stepson Lee. He has lymphedema on his right leg. I knew what that was, but I did look it up just because I wanted to make sure that I was thinking of the right thing. And I was. He applied for a disability pension. Will he get it? Does he have to move? Does Lee get a job or not? There's a lot here. Okay, so Lee, all right, I'm going to be the bad news medium for just another moment here. Again, he strikes again. All right, so Lee's health is not good. I think we go beyond and not a doctor. This is not a diagnosis. This is just me kind of pinpointing certain energies that I feel and that feel a little complicated, challenging. We'll leave it there. So it goes a little bit beyond the lymphedema, but I'm kind of, it's like, I know that's usually a lower leg thing. So it's on the right leg, but I feel like there's some stuff going on in the hips and like even groin area of the leg that could be complicated later on if it's not already kind of causing some issues as well. So I do worry about, mobility moving forward. And I'm not sure, I'm not a doctor, so I don't know what can be done, but it's like if we are able to dial in on that and kind of, cut it off at the pass, so to speak, before things, get more challenging. Just maybe dial into that. The disability thing is interesting because I almost feel like there's a bit of a pushback happening. If you're not already aware of this, it's like they put up a little bit of a fight. And also I would give there's a directive here for Lee and everybody that kind of participates with Lee to, not that anything is being done wrong, but I almost feel like there's eyes, like there's eyes watching. So, I know sometimes insurance companies and things like that will, surveil people or look into things a little bit more to make sure that claims are on the up and up. So there's a little bit of that going on. So there's a little bit of a pushback. I think timelines are going to be extended, but the good news, and we're going to switch back to good news medium. Uh, I do think there's an energetic pathway that is going to help me predict that he will eventually get the disability. I just think there's a few more hoops than you'd like to jump through. And then let's get into the job. I don't see a job for him anytime soon. So we're probably getting into deep into 2025. I just think there's some other things going on with him that are going to make it hard for him to get a job. And this is, his emotional, mental, physical state is kind of where I'm being drawn to with the energy. So yeah, and I do think he's going to have to move. I think what's going on with him will kind of cause him to have to be really specific about where he lives, how he lives, that type of thing. All right. He'll get there, but there's some work to do here, specifically with his health. And I think it goes beyond also the physical. I think there's some emotional, which makes sense when you're not feeling well physically. And, sounds like he doesn't have a job and there's some other things going on. So whatever you can do, support, I think will go a long way. All right, I'm just going to check in. Stopher, I met someone at the end of August that I thought. I'm just reading some comments here. All right, cool. Let's move on to my friend Heather S. All right, Heather, if you're here, thank you for being here. If not, you'll check this out on the replay. I know you will. All right, will my daughter ever find a man to put up with her shit? I love it. All right, and will she ever drop the grudges she is carrying against Joe's kids? All right, and Joe, if you're watching, hello. Okay, so let's talk about your daughter and her shit. Here's the thing. So it's almost like I get this energy of, I have to say, she masks it quite well. It's like we all do it, right? When we get into a relationship, early days, we're showing the best version of ourselves. But for the most part, there's still a sense of authenticity to that for most of us, right? With her, I feel like she actually, it's almost like catfishing energy. It's like she, not only does she like try to, behave herself, it's like there's a total farce happening. So the problem with that is, there's no transparency. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of where I'm getting a big mask. I'm getting big mask energy here. So, and it's very big mask energy. So that tells me that it's going to be quite a while before she gets into this place where she can have a healthy relationship with someone. It's not really about somebody being able to deal with her shit. It's like, do they even know what shit it is? And then once we get there, because it's masked, because we have such big mask energy, then it's just like a grenade, right? So that's what we're dealing with. It's what her potential suitors are dealing with. So I don't see, I think it will eventually happen because a lot of this energy, as I feel it, has to eventually come undone. There's usually an epiphany at some point. Unfortunately, it usually happens because something not so great happens to someone, or they have to, kind of hit rock bottom. So that's kind of where she's headed when it comes to like her emotional energy and romantic ties and that thing. So don't hold your breath. It's going to be a while, right? Will she ever drop the grudge? Now this one, there's a little more, this energy feels a little bit more malleable. So I gotta say, when I'm getting into that energy with your daughter here, she believes what she believes. So the grudges, it's kind of like I think anybody else wouldn't have a grudge over what she's kind of built here, the story that she's built, but she believes it, and it feels very sunk in. I don't think that she'll ever like completely let go of it, but there is an evolution. There's definitely an energy avenue here for an evolution. So it's kind of like she maybe drops some of the swords, or the swords become a little duller, if we're using that analogy. But yeah, I think she'll always kind of have the story she tells herself in her back pocket. Okay, so it's always going to. I think it's always going to be there. It feels to me like she's built this story, so she's not going to let it go. But I think it gets to the point where we don't need to talk about it every day, or it's not brought out at uncomfortable times. So the first question is, it's going to be a while. There's a lot going on there. And the second question is, yeah, she will, to a degree. They're always going to be in her back pocket, the grudges, but we'll make some progress there. All right, Jen S, thank you for being here. That's interesting. Somebody, I don't know if it was you that said that last time. You can also try to send it to questions@stophercavins.com. But I mean, everybody else has no problem with the email. I get lots of emails, so I'm not sure. All right, let's get through these other ones, and then we'll look into if we jump into the questions in the chat. All right, Bernicia Mango, thank you for being here. I see you in the chat. This one's interesting. I'll make this one quick. Let's read the question. She writes in and says, when I was a baby, I have a memory of aliens. All right, visiting me in a bedroom, broad daylight. Was that a dream, or was I visited by something? I tell myself it was a dream, but something is telling me it wasn't a dream because of the details I remember. So if you can tell me, was it real, and why me? Okay, so I don't have an answer for why me. Real, subjectively, yes. I have to say this is real, and the reason I'm saying that is because I've got energy around it, right? So there's something there, and it feels to me like it's a little bit beyond just an imagination kind of energy. So real, and that would explain to me why, it would make sense to me why you feel like it was real. So, but what I'm getting with it is a little confusing to me because, okay, the word real, it's like this mic is real, like real, like 3D real is what I'm having a hard time with. It doesn't feel like that. And I do have to acknowledge you being in an altered state. So it's like, the short answer is I don't know what it was, but I feel like you were in maybe like an alternate dimension for a period of time. But real, yes. Why? I don't know. But it's interesting. There's a lot of interesting energy that it's hard for me to understand or explain. So, yeah. But thank you for sharing that energy with me. I don't have a lot to say about it, but it was a lot. There's a lot there. All right, so let's go on to Jennifer Weaver. She's got many questions. Let's see. And I'm going to be doing this in real time because I got interrupted earlier and I didn't. I'm shared now. I'm scared. I think you're trying to say I'm scared now. Yeah, don't be scared. Yeah, it's nothing bad. It's just like I trying to get all my words here. It's like these aliens or whatever this was that you experienced. It's like you were in a different kind of time frame, a different dimension. I think you were just kind of in a different zone, or the interaction with this energy was kind of in a different. It wouldn't be like me and you meeting face to face. It just doesn't feel like 3D like that. Hope you understand that. I actually think it's kind of cool. I wish it was me that had that experience. All right. Jennifer, okay, so what I was saying is I got interrupted when I was in my session earlier. So I'm actually reading through these questions first time, and we'll see what comes up. All right, will my husband find a job soon? Immediately, I did kind of scan through this. You've read on this before, but it's taking longer than we thought it would. Yeah, that actually makes sense to me because I hope your husband's not watching. I feel like it's a little bit more with him why this is taking a little longer. So what it tells me is he's either being extremely picky. He's taking some, yeah, they're actually showing me this, where he's taking some things off the table that probably should be on the table. It's a little bit more than just like, um, I need a job, I'll take anything. I don't feel like that's kind of where he's at with it. Whether he tells you that or not, I don't know that that's where he's at. I believe that is not where he's at. So what I mean by that is he's taking some things that he might think are um, either beneath him, you know, not what he wants to make, not what he wants to do. He's kind of taking some things off the table that you might like to have on the table. So yeah, a lot of it is some blocking energy that he's got going on. Um, and that, you know, this is not me telling anybody what to do, whatever works for you or him, but that's kind of why the timelines are being pushed way, 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 way back, way back. So if I say as of now, I don't have him getting a job anytime soon. I feel like we're going into 2025. I know that's a month away. I feel like we're getting into like months, a couple months. I do think there's stuff out there for him. It's almost like where he's looking is very, very competitive, especially they're showing me the time. So especially in this specific time. All right, he's looking for work either as a GIS specialist or a CAD technician for full-time work. He might have to take part-time, but he's also looking for something part-time. I think this is where he gets stuck. I don't know that he is looking as hard as he could for the part-time job. I think part-time is where he's going to get his foot in the door because that's where they're like the energies are vibrating. Any guidance you can provide for part-time and full-time opportunities would be super appreciated as we navigate difficult time. Where should he be looking? The part-time is what's kind of popping up here. I don't know what these GIS specialists or CAD technician. And I feel like I need to introduce a third party as well. So what this tells me is I think he's going to have even better opportunity with kind of working with people. Was it working through people that he's already connected with? I think I read this before with him. It's like friends, family, previous coworkers, all break out the Rolodex and pump those resources as well. It's like I almost feel like that's how he's going to get a lead on something rather than Indeed.com, job sites, that type of thing. The third party could be like a temp agency, but this feels to me like it's a little bit more of a relationship of some sort. All right. I'll do the next question and then we'll save the hip question for next time. But one more question from Jennifer. Last week I had a great interview at an international company specializing in property tax. Do you see them making an offer? If so, is there anything I need to be concerned about with the job? If not, can you see the general industry I will be working in and how long will it take for me to get the job? I don't see them making an offer. I don't have that pathway. So I hope I'm wrong on that, but I don't see an offer or an offer that makes sense. We'll put it that way because I'm just getting like big blocker energy. All right. Now, what it's interesting with the property tax, I actually do see you in a either development, real estate space, or even financing space. And when it's financing, it's almost like it's connected to like property, real property, commercial property, something like that. So there's something like kind of real estatey ish. Um, Even the property tax thing kind of makes a lot of sense too. I think you're looking in the right place. All right, hope that helps. Sandy H. All right, Stopher, I love and enjoy your channel. Thank you. I have Louie, a 3-year-old super mutt. I'm smiling because I'm imagining dog with like the S on the chest and a cape. Super mutt. All right, and I've got Momo, a 4-month-old Shih Tzu puppy. All right, Sandy H wants to know if Louis is enjoying having a little brother or is he jealous? Thank you for taking my question. Um, yeah, I don't have notes on this, but I did actually have this question come up in my session, so I'm just going to kind of get back into that energy to see so I can give it to you. Yeah, would you understand? I feel like when I talk about Louis, uh, yeah, I think he's very happy. He's very curious. I have to say with him, he's a bit there's a little bit of OCD with Louis. It's kind of endearing because it's almost like he's very sensitive to how things smell. So I know Momo is I'm sure you've bathed him a few times. It's almost like he's got a different smell, a different energy. He's just really kind of there's this fine-tuned kind of sensitivity with different things. Even is also another thing. So the smells and he's just very like kind of you know for lack of better words, like there's a little bit of an OCD type of energy where these little changes are challenging him. I don't think it's bad. I just think it's challenging. So there's a gear shift happening that he'll work through, but a lot of it has to do with some of his little sensitivities that I think most dogs probably don't have. Time is also going to be a big thing. So be really careful as you continue to integrate in Momo when it comes to Louis and being sensitive to his sensitivities. Time. It's like his schedule. Because I feel like what he's showing me, his energy is showing me is you and him have specific times that you connect and do certain things. So just be really careful that you're not, um, you know, going off with the other dog and make sure he gets his, slowly kind of disrupt the schedule if you haven't already. So it's just little things, but I think overall this is a very, very good introduction of the new energy. It's just that Louis is a sensitive. He's got some very heightened sensitivities. Like I say, it feels very endearing. It feels kind of quirky in the best ways, though. All right, we have some feedback already. So get your. I think this is Jennifer, right? I apologize for folks that have different handles and then your names, and I know I've read with for a lot of you privately. It's not that I don't like you or you're not memorable. It's just there's so much. And so it's a lot for me, and I can't remember names anyway. So, anyway, also had a great interview today with a mortgage company. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. You're in the right space here: the mortgage, the real estate, the development, the commercial, all the stuff. I think it's going to happen there, right? Because you've got some kind of special. I don't know what it is, but there's something on your resume that people are picking out that's like a bit of a special sauce. That works really well and that people are in these industries are going to be gravitating towards. And with the husband, yeah, it could be recruiters, but I feel like it's somebody that you would know a little bit more than a recruiter. A recruiter is a third party, but that energy to me feels a little bit more cold because usually we don't know who they are. Um, I think it's going to be somebody that he's dealt with on some level in the past. Makes sense about his job shirts. Okay, yeah, yeah. I'm not trying to like start a fight or anything, but yeah, I think he's being a little picky, or there's some kind of block there. All right, let's go to the next one. Hi. Jen S. Jen S. I think you did. Let's see who. I still have a few. Um, Sandy. Okay, no, I've just got one more. I've got my friend Talene. Talene M. All right. Talene, I want to. I'm going to be ordering from you, by the way, Talene. I want to tell people about your products, but I don't. I want to hear it from you if that's okay to do, or how we would want to do that. So we'll save that for the next time. But anyway, so Talene, hello again, Stopher. I'm grateful for you and your ability to share, and your ability that you share with the world. Nailed it. Thank you for starting this series on YouTube. I really enjoy watching. Well, thank you. You're welcome. And Thank you. I wanted to ask a question about my personal life. All right, this is pretty good. I've been in my masculine energy my entire life. I have not. I have had a rough go in love and in finances. I have always taken care of myself and I'm tired. I feel you. I feel you. I just wanted to be taken out of my masculine energy and live in my feminine energy. There's a lot here. When I say there's a lot here, there's a lot of energy here. Is this in my near future or contracts? Will I ever feel taken care of by someone else? Safe? Question mark. Will I ever start a family? I have such strong desires to do so, yet I've only been met with karmic partners and life lessons. I feel you. All right. All of which I'm grateful for, but I'm tired, Stopher. Please help. Thank you so much. Okay, here's the thing. Short answer. That's not much is changing. Your energy is your energy, right? Um, I guess the challenge here, and you've got both. And I've met you. We've had an interaction on a call. Um, so I get it, but both energies are present. Just feeling it energetically here, Talene. It's like you've got both. I think it's more about you kind of stepping in. I hate saying like step into your power and that type of thing, but is more about kind of deprogramming some of your own understandings because you've got both. I really feel like we can grab onto both and kind of and I think it's actually kind of cool once you figure out how to do that or what you want to do with that because not everybody has strongly. I actually feel like you do have both feminine and man. The problem is it feels like they're fighting a little bit. Is that but to me it's like, oh, they're both there. We can grab onto them, and as long as we can kind of get the reins, I think you'll be like a superwoman, right? So I don't know what to tell you about how to get there. I'm just telling you, I see the energetic pathway for you to get there. Now with the family, uh, we're not on that path. So I can't say that you're destined not to have a family because I don't think that's a thing. But I will say that you're not on that freeway. You're not in that flow right now. And that's just my opinion of the energy. It's not headed towards family. Um, and like I said at the start of the show here, you can change that tomorrow. That's the cool thing. You can change that tomorrow. You can change things in your life and how you go about things once you figure out how to do it, right? So I don't know that I've got. Will you ever start a family? I don't know is the answer. Are you on that path right now? I don't. My opinion is you are not really close to it right now. So a lot of changes are going to have to happen. Um, and I don't know how old you are, and um, the whole biological clock and all that, but that one's it's hard for me to see that pathway. Right. I'm just always going to be really honest with all of you. Say, and here's another thing is that when you get into this energy, when you're asking, will I ever feel taken care of by someone else and safe? Yes, but I don't think it's going to be in the sense of somebody that's like a not caretaker, but you're always going to find relationships where it's very very balanced, where it's like we don't have one person that quote wears the pants or is the guy or the girl. You and probably that has to do with a lot of your masculine energy. I do feel like it's going to be uniquely your own thing when you say feel safe or be taken care of, but probably not in the way that you think. Okay. uh, but I do think subjectively, yes, I want to say yes. And finances are going to be really really good soon. I think 2025 is actually a, I don't want to say big year, but I think a very changing year, specifically with how money comes in. uh it's interesting. There's a lot of shifts here too, and when we get into like probably after the first quarter into the second quarter of the year, so right before what I consider summertime, May, June, I guess almost the end of the second quarter, I think you'll be doing a lot better. All right, hope that helps. All right, that's that. those are the questions. Let's jump in. What am I doing? No, I want to make changes. All right. If anybody wants to put some questions up, go ahead and put them in now so that I don't have to scroll. Do it now. All right. This is interesting. Linda Napora, thank you for the question. My grandson was born 12/3/23. Happy birthday tomorrow. 1 years. That's so cool. There's a woman's face over him. There was a woman's face over him. Was that a guide angel? Bear with me. I get this interesting, like, yeah. So any energy, all energies are guiding energies. That's what energy just by its nature is guiding us, nudging us one way or another. Sometimes it's guiding us in the other direction. You know, sometimes it's headwind, sometimes it's wind in our sails. But so any energy, a face, anything you see that's energy, that's a manifestation of some sort of energy that's happening and how it's connecting with either the person seeing it or the person that's near. So the short answer is yes, but I also get a specific like connector kind of energy. So I feel like this also connects with somebody that you would know, like a loved one that's passed as well. Even if you don't recognize the face, there's some kind of connecting, and it could be somebody way down in lineage, but these energies, when they all kind of come together, interesting things happen. So short answer, yes. And nothing bad that I can feel. It feels connective. It feels like it's connecting like um, lineage and that type of thing. All right, Marnie. Is this your dog, Marnie, with the glasses? All right. Is brother-in-law going to subdivide land and sell me a few acres? Yeah. I actually like the sub. Have we talked about this before? This feels familiar. Where I want to take like chunks of land and like slice off a bit of it and give it to you. I don't know that it'll be given to you, but you know what I'm saying. Transfer it to you. I think there's a better chance of that than the merits. Merits. So his brother-in-law, I feel like yes. I get heavy subdivide energy, slice off that chunk, and Marnie gets that. Did we talk about that? We did, didn't we? Yeah. So if that's coming up, that's interesting. What's this? Maria Martin. I've been told by multiple psychics that I will experience expansion with therapy practice, adding something that's more passionate about. I haven't heard him seen what that is. Insight. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to figure out what this is. All right, I'm just going to tell you what they're showing me. I feel like I see a room of people. You're going to have to figure this out. It's like more than one person. So I don't know if your therapy practice is only one-on-one, and maybe it'll continue to be, but I'm okay. Let me tell you what I'm seeing. Multiple people, specifically like younger, and I feel like most of this energy feels female to me. It could be otherwise, but and there's writing. It's almost like a group writing is what I'm seeing, like group therapy writing. I'm not saying it's that, but there's something here where I feel like you either need to get into like your writing thoughts and put things because I do that too. A lot of times when I'm stuck, I'll just get in front of the keyboard or I'll break out the notebook, and that's kind of how stuff comes out. I don't even have to think about it. I just let it flow, and it flows through the writing or the typing. So there's something here where I think you'll either learn what it is or kind of discover it through like an automatic writing or something like that, or it has something to do with you maybe teaching people or guiding people to do something through writing as a therapy. I hope that helps because I was being shown something that I don't really understand. Toot, toot, toot. Nicole, lovely picture. I'd love to know how my December, January goes in the custody battle underway. Not fun. I feel like we don't get as far down the road as we think we're going to or want to, and I know it's not fun, and it's like we're delaying the party even more, right? So stuck. It feels stuck. So I think there's probably at least one, if not two, delays that extend it probably into January and maybe beyond what you want it to be or think it's going to be. Hi, Rosemary. And I almost feel like it's like I have to go to money. I know we shouldn't talk about money when it comes to like custody, but there's some kind of money that comes into play. And I feel like on your end, whether it's you paying or receiving some kind of, and it could be with lawyer, it feels disappointing. So I want to say there's a financial aspect of it that probably doesn't kind of raise up to your hopes or expectations. And I don't know, I don't know what the outcome is as far as, and I kind of want to stay away from that anyway, but I'm not being shown anything specific about how time is divided or full custody, partial custody, who gets what. Yeah. So timelines are difficult because there's delays and then there's a financial aspect that is probably a little disappointing. You are welcome, Maria. I hope that helped. Does that make any sense to you? You can say no if it didn't. All right. All right. All right. Let's see. Be free. Be free. We're all free, right? Let's all feel free. It's good to feel free. I don't know what that is. Okay. All right. Be free. Hey, Stopher. I met someone at the end of August. Everybody's meeting people. I love it. All right. Met someone at the end of August and I had a great time. I'm curious if you see us getting together this year. His name is Pete. Pete. All right, Pete. Yeah, I like this Be Free. Let's hide that so you can see more of me. I liked it. I think the reason I like it is because me and my husband have this energy where there's a lot of fun, there's a lot of banter, there's a lot of this is a person that I think you can kind of really stick it to, like, and I mean that in like an endearing kind of way where they're thick-skinned in the best kind of way. So there's a good energy kind of give and take here that I think isn't going to go away anytime soon. You know, sometimes that wears off. It feels really good, and I feel like that continues in that specific way for a while. So whatever kind of way you're dating now, or just interacting, I feel like that is kind of a magical place, and that stays kind of going. And you know, you might think, oh, well, that's not, it's progress in its own way, is what I want to say. So I think you kind of do this for probably another 4 months, 5 months, a nice extended period of time before we start really getting into, um, getting into that deep, deep, deep space, where things become, and I don't mean like complicated, like in a bad way, but then things become a little more deep. So you stay in this nice kind of space. I do think there's a really good potential here just because of how the dynamic is and how it stays that way. hmm Melody, hello, hello, hello. Some I got really emotional when you were talking. Is that a good thing? No, I get it. Yeah, that just means there's something connected. Maybe you don't understand it now. That's fine. I definitely don't understand it. Uh, I don't always get to make sense of what it is, and I have to be okay with that. But I think you'll get there. And if you're getting emotional, it just tells you there's something there. So you'll figure. I'm confident you'll figure it out. All right. Suanne Trench. My son Colin transitioned 3 years ago. It has always bothered me that I don't know the exact date. I last saw him on 9/11. However, we found him on 920. Can you help? Well, I read this very, very different. I thought we were talking about somebody that transitioned their gender, um, but he transitioned into spirit. Okay, got it, got it. Yeah, that made sense to me once I saw the dates. All right, 11. Let me look at. Okay, so how many days is that? That is 9 days. Sorry, I do have some information. I'm just trying to see which side it's on. 1 week. Can I know what year was it? Was it this year, 9/11? Can you put that, Suanne? Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Can you put that in the comments? You're welcome, be free. What year was it? 2021. Okay. What day was that? A Sunday? Do you know? Do you know what day it was? Day of the week? Um, okay. Because I feel like I want to take the reason I was like, what side is it on? 1 week. Specifically, I have to talk about 1 week. So if you saw him on the 11th Saturday, I feel like I have to talk about 1 week. I would feel like it'd be the next Saturday or Sunday morning is the transition. So whatever that would be, the 19, 18. And I also have to acknowledge, who would there be another person that your son is connected to, another male that either has a, I feel like I want to say Colin again or Kyle, um, that I have to acknowledge being very, very close to him at the time of his passing, right around that time. Do you know if he would have had a friend or a family member that's close to him that has a similar? I almost feel like I want to say Colin again or Kyle, because there's an acknowledgement here. Oh, it's already 7 o'clock. Cameron. I feel like this person, and not that they played a part in the transition, but I feel like there's something here where I have to connect the end of Colin's time here to this other person. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I feel like that person also, there's some difficulty there. I don't know if there might be some answers from that person, Cameron. Yeah. Anyway, that's what I have. I think this Cameron might know something or somehow, because I'm just being shown this person very close to Colin. There's a close energy where we have to talk about them being close. I will look into it. Okay, yeah, I'll let you handle that how you see fit. Um, but if you got the date, what I meant, if you saw him on the 11th, that was a Saturday. We're talking about the next, not the next day, but the next week. I feel like we're talking about Sunday, early Sunday morning or late that Saturday night. So it'd be like basically 1 week from the time you saw him. And then you would have found him just a few days later. All right. I do feel like this was, for lack of better words, like kind of a soft transition. All right. Shika, you're going to get your question answered. All right. By when do you see my legs making a complete recovery from my knee injury? Anything else on it? I do feel like we have to go back in because they're showing me there might be something, and I don't think we're talking about like years from now. I think we're talking about probably months where there might need to be like a scope or something Was there incisions done? Because I'm being shown like almost like an incision or a scar. So I think you've got a while recovery as far as like getting back, because you're also a person that likes to move, is what I'm being shown. So I don't know if you're a dancer or somebody that's like highly athletic, but to get back to that place, it's almost like you'll never get back completely, but it's going to be a journey, and I feel like there's like almost like we have to go in, or a little scope, or there's something where I want to make an incision. I'm sorry. I've got like a year before you're feeling really comfortable. Does that make sense? I think another thing I'm getting though, Ishika, sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. I think you're in good hands. So the folks that you are that are helping you medically are doing you right. Okay, so I'm being shown that much as well. So you've got the best shot. You've got the best shot. All right, Melody. Oh, I read for you. All right, I've written a screenplay, but I'm having difficulty getting it out there. The movie industry is a closed circuit. I've entered a competition, hoping to be recognized. Any tips? I will say this. I feel like when we talk about the competition, I feel like I want to cut things down, like short. Is this competition either centered around like a short kind of version of whatever the content is that you're submitting? It's like, if not, I feel like I want to tell you to almost condense down, and it's like how like you can watch like a movie trailer, and you get an idea for what the movie is, but you're not watching the whole movie. I'm getting that kind of energy where we need to really condense down to the highlights, the meat and the potatoes is kind of what I'm being shown here. So however that applies to what you have going on, that's kind of where I want to get the microscope out. I want to get the microscope out and look at certain points. I can't tell you what those highlights are. You'll figure that out, but that's kind of what I'm seeing. Hope that helps. Yeah, this is a food allergy. This is food. This isn't in the air. I'm not getting anything in the air. I'm not getting anything that we touch. I feel like we're putting something in. So it's a food or a medicine or a supplement. Once again, these are all my opinions of the energy as I feel it and understand it. I'm giving you my opinion of what it feels like and sounds like, looks like. All right, is anybody else tired? I'm just scrolling up to see if I missed anything. All right. All right, Rosemary. Is it Rosemary or Rosemary? Rosemary. I think my old cat Smokey is dying here at 10 p.m. Although he ate this morning, I feel terrible and called twice for a vet appointment. Still waiting. Can anyone send it? Yeah, we're all sending Smokey and you good energy. I will say this. I feel like he's a fighter. So I still have that energy of like will to live, he's not going to give up. So yeah, keep calling that vet. Say my husband. Yeah, I didn't understand this. I wanted to say my son is in the hospital now. I wanted to say my son is in the hospital. I'm sorry, I don't have all the context. I know I read for you earlier. Was this Lee? Sorry, shut it down. All right, I think I'm going to close it down. Let's do this. And then this will be the last for the night. If you have questions, get them in for the next show. Go ahead and just follow the directions that are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. email them to the Stopher Show at stophercavins.com. Right? Super easy. All right. I've been feeling a little stuck in my business. Should I open up and talk about personal perspectives for a break? Yeah. Yeah, there's a little bit of a vulnerability. So the stuck, I hate to it's like placing, it's not about placing blame, but it's here. It's here. It's here with you. You're the stuck. You're the sticking point. We all are our own sticking point. So yeah, the personal perspectives, breakthrough, vulnerable, get really, really honest with yourself, and then shed as much of that transparently as you're comfortable, and then you'll get a little bit more comfortable sharing more. But yeah, that's kind of where for me it all starts, and I am getting that energy with you where we need to like let the light shine into the world, because I can feel that you're blocking that, and it's a little scary for you. So slowly, creep up to it. It's not something that you'll do overnight, but you will slowly start letting that light shine, because you are the one that is blocking it. I can that opinion I am going to assert strongly. Super scary. Super scary. What did I read? Stuck in, yeah, super. Yes, 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 yes. I get it. I get it. And it kind of starts with you. You'll start this, Jolly James. You'll start this quietly with yourself. Um, it'll be a personal moment, right? Because some of it's like you're not even you're letting yourself understand it or feel it. So start there before you start sharing it with the public and the world and clients and whatever the case is. So it's a little bit of a healing process, and then go from there. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm going to check my bets and eat and sleep. See you next week. Love you all. Peace always.